Hello, welcome back to the channel, and today, this may be the Dial of Destiny, but it should have been the last Crusade. Yeah, so, today, well, a few days ago, because I was a little late to recording this, I saw Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And, well, a lot of people have very diverse opinions about this movie. So, let's get into it, shall we? Let's unearth this treasure that probably should belong in a museum. So, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, or Indiana Jones 5, is obviously the fifth and apparently final installment in the franchise, as this follows Indy, now in his late 70s, if not early 80s, in 1969, so the climax of the space race, as he's I guess, would it be, no, I was trying to think of a joke involving a whip, like he was whipped back into one more adventure, but he is, well, roped into doing one last adventure for some treasure by an old friend of his named Helena, who is, well, technically the daughter of one of Indy's old friends, as they are looking for the Dial of Archimedes, also known as the well, I never really caught its name. It was a very long and dumb name, but yes. Plus, another character in the form of a new short round named Teddy. And despite this taking place about over 20 years after World War II, the villains in this movie are still Nazis. So, it's like most of the Indiana Jones movies, it's a race to see who can get the dial first. And now, non-spoiler, I really enjoyed this movie. Again, I'll give the percentage at the end of the video, but again, I'm stuck at this, but for those who are here not for spoilers, I really enjoyed the movie. And I'd say, actually no, I'll give my personal rankings at the end for the 5 movies. But yeah, really enjoyed it. It had some fun sequences. The movie was pretty funny as well. And I'll just say this, the ending you're either going to love or hate. And that's all I'll say for non-spoiler. Now, getting into spoilers. And now, let's get into the spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, you can stop here and come back. Or if you don't give a shit, let's keep going. So, the things I really liked about this movie is, one, I thought the movie was had a lot of fun action with it, and specifically the opening on the train, and the car chase scene in, I believe they were in Morocco. Those two sequences were really well put together with the action, and of course you have your other good scenes, but those two are standouts. Now, granted, I wish they did more practical stunts. Not to say that they didn't do any at all. They probably did. It's just, there is a lot of digital effects used in this movie. And, of course, if you've seen the old indie movies, you'd know that a lot of the greatest shit from those movies are from the practical effects. So, it is sorely missed that a lot of it's digital now, but it was still entertaining. Just, I would have loved it more if it was practical. And now going back into the humor, I think this movie was pretty funny throughout. There was a few jokes that didn't really land. I could kind of care less for the jokes about Indy being a little too old. I think a few of them are fine, but sometimes it goes a little overboard on making Indy seem really old. Which, I mean, yeah, he is, but I feel like that's a little too they went a little too overboard with that sometimes. The puzzle solving sequences are great as always. Like, I don't think a single Indiana Jones movie has a bad when it comes to the puzzle solving stuff. Again, I think all 5 movies have great stuff in that department. But let's get into another thing that I loved about this movie, and that's Mads Mikkelsen as this movie's villain. Now, this series is not necessarily known for having the most iconic of villains, at least in my opinion. Like, I remember the villains from the first one, but that's kind of only because of the face melt. Like, a villain can be not that memorable, but if they get a good death, then you'll remember them. Like, another example of that is the villain from Oliver and Company, the Disney movie from '88, I think is when that came out. That dude was pretty bland, but his death getting ran over by a train is, yeah, same thing for Clayton from Tarzan when he gets fucking hung by a vine. But yeah, the villains in the indie movies were never usually that great. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're good in their movies, but in terms of iconicness, yeah, not so much. But hey, that's my opinion, at least for that. But Mads Mikkelsen does a really good job as this movie's antagonist. Who, I forgot his real name. I know he mentioned it, but I think he only mentioned it like once in the movie. So I'm just gonna call him Schmidt because that's like the fake name he uses throughout the movie. But yeah, Mads Mikkelsen is really good, which of course is not a surprise. The dude's great in pretty much fucking anything he's in. I mean, of course, as a horror fan, I still have to appreciate the guy because he was Hannibal, from Hannibal, and he did pretty good as Grindelwald in Crimes of Grindelwald. The movie, a little inconsistent with quality, but he was pretty good in that too. But what I think is funny is that Mikkelsen, just taking a glance at the guy, he looks like the kind of actor who would eventually play a Nazi. And yes, the villains in this, like I said, are Nazis. And going into spoilers, their plan, like the whole treasure in this movie, is a thing for fucking time travel. Which is why I said people are either going to love or hate this ending. Because there's a lot of people who hate Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, the 4th one, because of how weird that movie got with the aliens and shit. So, if you didn't really like the aliens from Crystal Skull, then you're probably not going to like the time travel stuff in this one. But personally, I like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, so I like this. And yeah, don't fucking hate me in the comments because I like Crystal Skull. But yeah. Now, another facet of this movie's ending that I feel like a lot of people are probably going to be really divided on is a very specific decision at the end. So, obviously, at the end, they go back in time to meet Archimedes, the person who created the dial that they're all looking for. Well, the dial itself sends them back in time. And Indy has a decision, says he wants to stay in the past. But Helena won't let him because, well, Indy's the last person she has. And, instead of letting Indy stay, she fucking knocks him out and takes him back to the present. And that's where he wakes up to meet a lot of people from his past. Ooh, I forgot the names because I suck. But it is a nice ending that I think works, but like I said, it's probably going to have a lot of dividing. This movie has a lot of dividing in general. From what I'm looking at. But so, and another thing that, this is kind of just a personal thing, is this movie had one of the greatest theater experiences I've ever had. Is that because I saw this movie in 4DX, which means like the theater seats move. They like have air cannons that shoot like air at you when like stuff happens. They have water that shoots on you as well. So it's more of an immersive experience, and this was the first time I'd ever seen a movie in that, and my god, it was incredible. Especially with the action sequences, it was great. But yeah, anyway. On the whole, I'd give Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny a solid, I'd say 85%. It's not perfect, like I said. Some of the humor is a little overboarding. I feel like there's more you could have done in terms of puzzle solving, because this movie has great puzzle solving, but I don't think it has enough. And I would have liked to see more practical stuff. But like I said, on the whole, very well done movie. And I'd say it's a very nice send-off to Indy as a character and as a franchise, because this is supposed to be the last one. Although they said that with Jurassic World Dominion, they said that was going to be the last Jurassic Park movie, but it's not, apparently. Apparently they're doing 3 more. Companies like big money. But yeah, I think this is a nice send-off to Indy as a character, and if you want to know, my personal rankings for these movies is 5th is going to Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I still like that movie, but it's definitely the weakest of the series. Then 4, I'm probably going to give to... I probably might give it to Temple of Doom. I like Temple of Doom, it's just... it doesn't stack up to the rest as much. It's definitely my least favorite of the original trilogy. Then 3 will go to Dial of Destiny. 2 will go to Last Crusade. And 1 is obviously Raiders. But yeah, I hope y'all... that's my ranking for these 5 movies. And, but yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.